Hello there, Gemini, and welcome to your February 2025 horoscope. If you're enjoying these monthly horoscopes, please do hit the like and the subscribe buttons. And if you hit the subscribe button, be sure to tick the notification bell so you can get notified every time I put a new video up. And in addition to that, we can always take a deep dive into your own personal horoscope if you want to schedule in one of my astrological services, which you'll find linked just above. So, when we've been through a scenario where we rose to a height and then we took a big plunge all the way back down again, it can seem daunting to test the boundaries of that ceiling that we kind of came up against really hard once before. After all, we hit it, we stumbled, we fell, we may have even scraped our knees, but what do you do when that happens? You just kind of brush yourself off and you get back up again. So you are facing some opposition in the month of February to a newly found sense of purpose that you're beginning to establish from here onto the external stage of your life, most likely in the area of career or in your desire to be successful. But that voice of inner reticence is coming out and going, that's not safe, that's not secure. And that voice of, reluctance is also beginning to manifest itself in the people who surround you. So, in your closest circle of friends, yes, you might have people kind of whispering in your ear, even shouting in it, stating to you that, hey, this isn't safe. Shouldn't you play it safe rather than trying to go for the gusto? Well, fact of the matter is, playing it safe doesn't always bring stability, right? There's no guarantee if you play it the safe route that that's going to bring you what you want either. And there's probably more of a chance further down the line if you test the boundaries of what you feel is limiting you at the present moment to see, well, how expandable they actually are. So there are even some people, once you begin to establish yourself in the direction that you're trying to take things, who are going to maybe push back against you. Well, you know what? There's a land far away over there. And from what I've heard, the sun doesn't really shine there. And I think those people know the path to take them there. So why don't you just kind of give them a polite notification to kind of go to the land where the sun doesn't shine? I think you follow what I'm saying with that, right? You don't need to listen to what they are saying to you. As a matter of fact, it's not helpful. As a matter of fact, there's likely a hint of jealousy from those people that's being directed at you. We've got your ruler, Mercury, very active this month. And for a large portion of the month, it's transiting through what are called the Bhadrapadas. In Vedic astrology, we have something called the nakshatras or the lunar mansions. And Mercury is going to be transiting over the course of this month through Purva Bhadrapada, which means the former lucky feet, and then Uttara Bhadrapada, which means the latter lucky feet. Now, what are these lucky feet about? Well, this is going to sound pretty morbid, but it's the feet of a funeral cot, because the idea is it's the space of final surrender to the truth of who we are, rather than the duality that exists within our head. So what ends up happening in Purva Bhadrapada and Uttara Bhadrapada is we usually end up confronting a lot of our shadow side, a lot of those unfulfilled desires or ignored aspirations that we just kind of push down, squash down, stomp up and down on over the course of our life because we don't feel that we should be allowed to do those. Well, at some point, they have a way of kind of coming to the surface and equally kind of coming out of the closet and making us kind of take those directions and take those steps that, we really want to take, but that we're really, really afraid of taking at the same time. So, mixed in with this, you may not be fully certain of your sense of direction with this newly found sense of purpose. That's another thing that might be holding you back. Don't let it. This is something that's developing over time. Basically, at the beginning of the month, we have Venus and the North Node and Neptune all in a cluster in Uttara Bhadrapada. And this is taking place in your 10th house. And this is a lot of confusing energy. So if you're in a established work environment and you're beginning to go, well, I don't know what's going on with this space, but it doesn't seem to be working right now. Well, that may be a push to get you out the door. If you're beginning to establish yourself in the realm of entrepreneurship, well, this may be a thing of you going, I'm not really sure which direction I want to actually take things. Well, guess what? I have a consultation that fits for that. That's my career purpose analysis. You can schedule that here. But kind of how you're dealing with this is over the course of time, you're needing to let this ferment like a fine wine, right? So that all the different notes and nuances of who you are can kind of mix and influence and come to the surface in a clearer way. This is a process you don't want to hurry. Let it take its time. But what's going on is as you're letting it take its time and things aren't coming together quickly, well, you're hitting some resistance inside of yourself. You're equally facing that resistance from outside of yourself, and it has you facing a lot of uncertainty. Uncertainty is good if we use that energy to clarify our sense of purpose. And this is precisely what you need to do in the month of February, Gemini. And if you could use a little bit of help with that process, again, I'm happy to help. You can schedule in any of my astrological services that you'll find linked above. That's going to do it for this look at your February horoscope, Gemini, for 2025. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.